It says add a title. I don't think I'll bother. You can sing now, I think.
Going live. Woo woo. Are we there? It's a Sunday. It's a Sunday.
It is Sunday. And hello.
Hello, everyone. Where's our wounded soldier, Lorraine?
Yeah, we'll get the elephant in the room out of the way, shall we? So, I managed to fall this morning going to the utility in our house is under the stairs, but it's an external door because it used to be the coal shed, and my washing machine and dryer and things like that are in there. And I was carrying towels out to the washing machine, and I don't know if I sort of fell on the uneven bit between the concrete path and the gravel, or whether I tripped on a trailing towel, but my knee dropped to the floor onto the concrete. I put a hand out to save myself, and my face hit the potting table that's outside the utility door. So I have a whacking great bruise on my cheek and a graze which follows the line of the corner of the potting table. And I'm quite lucky. If I hadn't put my hand out to save myself, I'd probably have a broken cheekbone.
Well, when we come back on Tuesday, I'm looking forward to seeing your black eye.
I don't know if I'll have a black eye, but I should certainly have some impressive bruises, shouldn't I?
Oh.
By that time. I don't know if my knee will bruise. It's red and swollen at the moment, but my pajamas took the brunt of the smack onto the floor, so I haven't got any cuts or anything on my leg. And my hand is just tender, like there's no cuts on my palm.
Well, it was a lovely hot sunny day wearing shorts or something.
I don't do shorts, so it's fairly unlikely that that would happen. And even if I do a skirt, it tends to be more or less floor length. So there are never knees on show here unless I'm getting into the bath.
Oh, right, okay.
It just doesn't really happen. Seldom seen.
The seldom seen knees.
Yeah, which might be a good thing. I don't know.
That's a brilliant name for a pattern.
It is. Jake ran downstairs once I shouted him because I was a bit shocked and a bit taken aback. He got me to the sofa, put my leg up, prodded and poked it and pronounced it wasn't broken.
Did he make you a nice cup of tea?
I'd just made myself a cup of tea prior to going out, but he did bring that through for me. Brought me some paracetamol and threw a packet of plasters at me for my face, because I'm going to put sticking plasters on my face. But it's fine. I had the antiseptic cream because I'd used some earlier because Mocca's got a little cut on one paw, so I had to put some cream on that.
You weren't doing the whole anything you can do, I can do better thing, were you?
I don't know. I dropped to the floor like a sack of tatties. And if anybody was hanging out of the houses at St Mary's Garth, at the back of where I live, I'm probably a YouTube star by now.
Oh, well, we'll have to check it.
It's my impressive fall. And I did yell, and I have to tell you that despite my yelling and shrieking and being in tears because I was so sore and shocked, nobody came to help. Nobody rushed from any of my neighbours' houses to make sure I was okay or I hadn't been stabbed or anything like that.
Anything?
Yeah, but it's a funny thing. It's one of those villages where you can't fart without 10,000 people knowing.
Right.
And you can fall over and genuinely hurt yourself, and nobody does the thing.
So what you say? Everybody will know that you've fallen over.
I'm sure somebody will have heard it, but just not acted upon it. Because I was quite loud.
Thanks, neighbours. That's really kind, isn't it?
I know, it's strange, isn't it? But communities can be a bit like that, can't they? Now that we've got the bruising out the way.
Yeah.
And before anyone says, no, it's not domestic violence, it would have a very hard job to be because my partner is 60 miles away and I haven't seen him since last year. So
You did walk into any cupboards.
yeah, so I haven't fallen up or down the stairs. I haven't walked into a door or opened a cupboard into my face or any of those things. So no, I was the klutz and I fell over in the back garden onto concrete and a wooden table, hence the very straight line of the cut on my face. But you know, it is what it is. Now we said today, this was a request. Was it Michelle?
Michelle, yeah.
Michelle. Okay,
Lovely
so
Michelle.
you're getting the blame, Michelle. So
If she's watching, she could give us a shout.
she could. We have to look and see if we've got any comments. I don't think we've got. Oh, that Sadler's there again.
Yeah, she's always there. Just ignore her. She might go away.
So share my screen, shall I? Unless you want to do this.
No. You, it's probably quicker and easier with you because you've got all the controls. Woohoo!
Nicely sloped there. Right, so I'm logged into Ravelry. Hope you can see that on your screen.
We can see all the projects. 495 of them.
Yeah, that's just the ones I've declared.
Mm-hmm.
There may be more. So
I'll go.
Well, you know.
Quickly, move along. We don't want to know.
A few. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Michelle says she'll take the blame.
22 that I've declared. That is not the full extent of my whips at all. And I can show you another one when we get back onto my screen as well. In fact, I can show you two, but they were. So if we just look at the basics of projects, obviously there's an add project button which I would press if I were going to add a new one. But it's Tide Water 2. And you'll see that there's various options on the screen, like the needles and yarn that I've used. I've used Kinkle, bamboo cotton 4-ply. Is that looking any bigger?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. So I'll just increase my screen size a little bit. So I've got some Kinkle bamboo cotton 4-ply from my stash in a colour called Verdi, which is obviously green. I've got some project notes and stuff. And I can do notes from here, and that will allow me to add more notes, and I can change the date of that particular note. So if I now say that I've picked up the second sleeve, I can add that and then save the note, and we'll update here. And when you do edit project, I think that's the point at which it gives you the option for add private notes. So as a designer, I use a lot of private notes. So in some of my other projects where it's my design, it's my pattern, I'll have put add private notes for picked up so many stitches for the sleeve, did my decreases or increases every so many rows, X number of times. This got me to such and such a length. I then had to do another inch to get to the sleeve length that I wanted. And I'll have notes about the sleeve cap shaping that I used, whether I made any changes to the stitch pattern or other adjustments, so that I have everything there in that project and I'm not having to look around for paper notes or anything else. But someone else coming to make it in 2 years' time after I've released it as a pattern won't see my private notes. Yeah, because all of that information should in theory be in the pattern by then. So it just allows me to have a place connected to a particular project. And you can do that where you've maybe got a criticism or a note to yourself that you don't want to put publicly and be mean about the designer or the magazine or the book publisher or something like that. But you want to make a note to yourself that on page 72 of such and such a book that the pattern came from, there is actually an error so many bits down the page. You might want to put your solution to it in private notes, or you might want to put it in project notes and share that with everybody. But it gives you the option to vent a little and make notes for yourself that would, and it can be bit frustrating if you've written a pattern and you put a lot of work into it and someone says, oh God, you know, death by ribbing or something like that. Well, you Yeah, sure, it might make some people laugh, but you could see it on the pattern page. You knew there was ribbon there,
Yeah.
but you still bought it and you still chose to knit it. So for me, if I was really thinking that, like lost the will to live with all the ribbon, I would probably put that in private notes so that if I ever thought about making it again, that was the thing that bugged me.
Yeah.
And I didn't necessarily want to make it an issue for the designer or for someone else. Now I've decided I'm going to use a contrast colour, so use stash yarn, and I know it's called bamboo something, so we'll search for bamboo. I've got some plum, I've got coral and verde, so we'll put the coral there, and I'm probably going to use 0.25 of a skein because I'm just going to use it for a couple of rows of garter stitch for a contrast or something.
Yeah.
And if I haven't entered the yarn in my stash but I want to add it, then I just click add yarn instead, and that then allows me to select. So I'll go with Stylecraft Special Double Knit and then click the link in my bob, and then that will come up with the yarn choices. I select the one that I want. I can go through the various colourways. We'll go with Citron because that sounds fun, doesn't it? We'll go with Hello. And I might use 0.5 of a skein because I'm going to do a pocket lining or something with it. And I could also, if it's not in my stash, actually make a note of where I bought that yarn in case I need any more within the project, not necessarily because I haven't added it to my yarn stash. So I'm going to save changes on that. And all of that information is updated. We've added our 2 yarns, one from stash, one not. So it's got no photograph or anything. I've updated my notes. On the right hand side of the screen, I could share this project, so I could send that to my Facebook page or this group and have a link posted to that project so that you could have a look and put a comment with that in the same way that I might do on any social media. I can upload photographs. Do you want to have a look at photographs? Is Michelle?
That share this button, don't you need to do that to make your project public? Because
You do.
Yeah, because I remember a few times I've said something about a project and then we've talked about it on here and you've said to me that I need to make my project public because I haven't done that.
Yeah, so if I put shared publicly, you'll see that I've changed the setting and it now gives me a Ravelry short link, and if I change sharing, I can go back to Ravelers only, invite only, or public visible to all. I prefer to try and have public visible to all because I might want to share that project with someone from there. And then photographs, I might want to add some more photos. I haven't taken a photo and loaded it onto my laptop, so I would have to load this from my phone. But I usually upload from computer, choose file, in the same way that you would on Facebook or anywhere else. Look for the file and then load it up. And then if I've got more images, then I can drag them to move them around and change the position as to what I want to be first. The other thing I like about these images is I can put copyright.
Cool.
If that's my photograph, then I can obviously put my copyright on it. And then it just stops people either using it without permission, or Ravelry can stop them indexing it. And it will, if anybody else uses it anywhere else, then it has information attached to it that says it's your copyright.
Yeah. Do you want to make a project right from scratch, as if you've never ever done a project before?
Can do.
Michelle's saying, do as an idiot guide, please.
We probably need Emma to do that.
Oh.
See, and I can get away with that today because I've got bruises all over my face.
You're injured, yeah.
I'm wounded. So witchcraft. So witchcraft, not witchcraft.
No,
so,
well, witchcraft would be fun.
I'm gonna go with knitting.
Yeah. An idiot hat. Excellent.
Pattern name.
Another good name, eh?
Wheat sheaf hat. And then continue. And oh, look, there's the pattern. So I could choose the pattern. However, it says if Ravelry doesn't have the pattern, you can continue without linking.
Yeah.
So I'm going to choose that particular pattern.
It is a lovely hat.
So it'll take me through then. So pretty much everything I make, unless it's a baby gift or a birthday present or a you're leaving to go to university and I've been blackmailed into making you a blanket present,
Yeah.
then it's pretty much always for me.
I
So
usually leave that one blank, to be honest.
Link to Ravelry, me.
Me, yeah.
Finish by 12th of never. Size made.
Days, yeah.
Hey. No, seriously, if it were a hat, I would probably go for the small adult,
Yeah.
because I've got a little head, just a big mouth. And if it were an adult garment and I'm working top down, then I will probably have medium upper body, XL sleeves,
Yeah.
then L, the XL for lower body, because I modify everything to fit me.
You're not going to put any short rows in then?
Might do. I'm getting to the point on lockdown where I need third belly ease. So craft again is knitting in this case, so I could change it if I'd got it wrong. Tags, so that might be gift along 2020.
Yeah.
If we were doing this in the gift along this year, it could be a hashtag or anything else, or it might be that it's a summer project, or it's a hat, or it's cables with ribbing and a folded brim or something like that. So I can add those kind of tags, and if I click on the luggage tag icon, then it'll show me what my most used tag was and what my most common tags were. You can see I hardly tag anything if it's not a gift along.
I don't.
I could pick one of those to say it's 2019, use that tag. So those tags are in there. Add a needle. So this particular hat, I'm going to use a 4mm and then click add needle again, and I'm going to select a 5mm. Now, I might have a project that's got a single crochet edging or something like that, so I could add a hook. Let's go with 5mm because it might need crochet finishing. Gauge, filling gauge from pattern, because if I can't get the gauge of the pattern, whoever's going to, nobody else has got a chance, have they? So I don't know if I've actually got any of this officially in my stash, even though I have a massive box of this yarn upstairs.
Is it in the labelled yarn?
It is in a box labelled yarn. I'll have to add it from there. So Debbie Lace,
Yeah.
Blue Face, Leicester.
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 Mm.
And I've done the link. Oh, there we go. I must have hit enter just out of habit. Typist. So click that. Blue Face Leicester Aran is the yarn I've got.
Yeah.
My favourite colour in it is the burnt orange, but I quite like the mustard as well. So it's a red orange.
Sounds good.
I'm going to use 3 skeins because I want a humongous pom-pom. I had bought my yarn at my shop.
Yeah.
Then obviously I would look for that and what the purchase date was. I can put the price on if I want to, and then I can copy that and add another colourway. That's a new feature.
I use that all the time. Go for a blue.
So I'll go for that.
Orange and blue together, gorgeous.
I'm going to go with denim.
Oh, yes.
Okay, and then I could put the number of skeins. So I'm just going to put 1 skein because I'm only going to do a wee bit of blue. So project notes, I can type anything that I want there. I can use the bold, italic, underline. I can put links.
Oh, can you show us
item,
please?
Yeah, the
This
with
matches.
sheath cowl.
Ooh.
Now, I don't know if it'll work from here. I've never been able to get it to work before. Ah, there you are. So if I put the square brackets either side, then it'll let me link directly to the cowl. But if it didn't, I would just type wheat sheaf cowl and then highlight that text, click the little globy thing for the hyperlink, and then copy and paste the link for whatever it was.
Yeah.
And then that would then make that a link. So I'll save that. I need to put a date, so we need to go back up to the top. It's in progress. Let's say it's 10%. I go to 5% if I've actually found the yarn and got the needles together.
I love it.
So start today.
Yeah.
I'm delighted with it. It's in progress. I would change that to finished when I'm ready, obviously, and then I would need to sort out what my completed date was. It'd probably take me a couple of evenings if I did the folded brim, because that's a lot of ribbon.
Yeah.
So it'll be tomorrow night when that's finished. And I can share with a group. So it's a hat. Have I got any hat groups?
Share it without.
Put it into the hats group. I could share with Knitting and Crochet Across the Pennines. Put that group there. I could go with the after party, which is the indie gal after party with that. So I've shared with 3 groups. It tells me about the pattern, how many times I've made it already.
Wow.
And there's our new project. And my overall rating, because obviously it's advancing.
Well, it should have more stars than that, really, shouldn't it? To be honest.
It should. So I would say it's medium difficulty. It's a lot easier than it looks, but you do need to be able to do cables.
Yeah.
And it helps if you can work knitting in the round, because obviously it's not a tutorial for that. So I don't think there's anything else I need to change. I could add some photos. Do we want to do that?
Yeah, have some photos.
Don't know if I've got any. What have I got that's handy?
Got any random photos?
Oh, here we go.
Oh, this sounds promising.
There we go. There's a woman without a bruised face.
Oh, wow.
In her Lady Mary hat from Yarndale.
Oh, I love it.
So there you are. So there's my photograph.
Yeah.
And there's that. And I've still got to save, remember, because all of these boxy things are live.
Yeah.
So I haven't saved it. I need to go down to the bottom and save changes.
You can do it at the top there as well. Ravelry's really kind like that.
Or at any point in any one of those boxes, I could hit the enter key.
Yeah.
By accident, and that would save it.
It's very kind like that.
It's quite forgiving, and I can go back and update photos and add more photos. And if I've got a blog post or something about it, then I can add that as well. That's actually in Rav profile, so that's maybe something for a more advanced day. And if anybody's made any comments on it, like someone's bound to come on here and go, "That's not a knitted hat."
Yeah, that's kind.
So someone will come along and say that. So there we are. We've got an idiot hat.
Excellent.
My project, and because of the dates and everything else, it's the one that we see first. Okay.
You can change how they're shown as well, can't you? Because you've got the settings with your whips first.
Yeah, I'll go with overall happiness, favourites.
Yeah.
Now, it should be said that that's not about my favourites. That's about the number of favourites other people have given it. Yeah. Why has my painted rose blanket got so many favourites?
It's gorgeous.
Well, that too. But basically, you know the Ravelry eye candy on the homepage?
Yeah.
It was in there.
Oh, was it?
After it was made on the homepage, and all of a sudden people were clicking love, 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 and I'm thinking, what's going on here? Wow. And then someone said, "You're in the eye candy this week."
How fab!
Yeah, and the other next favourite obviously is the puppies.
Well, yeah, strange that.
Bit of a naughty way of having projects, but so who doesn't love gratuitous puppy photographs?
Well, yeah.
This is the only project that I've got that's used for photographs of any kind, and I haven't added to this since the pups grew up. So there you are. But,
Gorgeous.
okay, so project. You'll see we've got this organized thing.
Yeah.
So I can create sets that are these tabs across the top. So I could create a set any week now, 2020. So that I can do this set based on tags. So remember we put tags on our project, and I can show a count on the project tab. So I'll do that. So now I haven't used that tag anywhere. But if I had, they would show up, and you can see that these are things I made. And there, right at the top, there's an Alicia Plummer.
Oh, wow.
So there you are. And there's some wheat sheaf hats.
Yeah.
So that tells you how old that pattern is. 2009. Ankle socks. That's a rare thing for me to make. In terms of library, does anybody want to know anything about library?
Yeah, let's see how we can organise our library.
I don't know how I organise my. I generally just have it as shelves.
I like mine. Is it like added by date or something, date added or something like that?
Yeah, mine's is sorted by date added.
Yeah.
And it's shown on shelves, but you can have details or list.
Oh no, shelves.
I like to see the pictures.
Yeah, me too.
Because generally I have a rough idea of what it'll look like and what I'm looking for. And obviously we have a search facility that we can go through. We're not going to look at the number of patterns there.
No, we don't look at the fact that you've got 207 pages. What about
or 33,573 declared patterns?
No, we're not looking. We are
That
not.
doesn't include any of the books we looked at the other week.
That you've got at home that you haven't put on, yeah.
Yeah.
What about how you can just go into one of the patterns? You can start a project page from in there, can't you?
You can, yeah. So let's find something. I quite liked this cardigan. That's a cute one for a free pattern. So I can go to the pattern page from the library. It tells me it's in my library. I can download it from here by clicking on that, or I can just click the download button, and again it'll give me the option. If I bought my pattern from Lovecraft rather than Ravelry, it would be in my library, but there'd be no download feature from here because I would have to download it from Lovecraft.
Yeah.
Or if it was in a book, again, there would be no download option. So, but I can save in favorites, add to queue, or cast on project. And then name for project, create project, and then I've got a blank project that I can add my yarn, talk about my sizing, who it's for, me.
Only me. Oh, me.
Always me.
Yeah.
It's all about me.
Oh, basically. Why shouldn't it be?
Well, yeah, I'm the one doing the knitting and the crocheting.
You crocheting today?
I am not today. I'm knitting a top that I'll show you in a wee while. So I'll go back to filtering my projects by whips first, because that's just freaking me out seeing old stuff. That just makes me realise how much I've done and not done. Someone messaged me the other day about this. So we've got one comment, and you'll see this poor lady is trying to knit this pattern. And what did I say to you about this pattern?
Oh, yeah.
So when you're looking at patterns in the library and it's something that or that you're thinking of buying, or that's from a book or a leaflet like this one, it's really important to look at the projects that other people have made. So if I my mouse eventually work. So we're 207 projects, and loads of people are saying, thanks to others who mentioned this, the issues with one of the texture patterns, this bit at the top, it tells you the first two lines, which include decreasing for the underarms, and you have no idea what the stitch pattern's supposed to look like, and it says carry on the first two, repeat the first two rows as set, decreasing, blah de blah blah. Well, what bit of that as set am I doing?
Because you haven't.
There are people who've absolutely fallen over with that and don't know what that top pattern, and that person's just given up and done it in something else because they got befuddled by it. So it is really good. Look at other people's notes.
I always do that. Look at other people's projects, look at their notes, see if any people have had real issues before I buy anything.
Yeah, and I think the other thing as well is if I'm not going to knit it now, say, I might look at it later. So here somebody's actually put, so we're told after just 2 rows in pattern 3 with decreases at each end, keeping continuity of pattern, work 3 rows decreasing, but after 2 rows you can't even see the pattern and you can't start reading the work until several rows are done.
Yeah.
So the pattern isn't yet set, and she's absolutely right. I had to knit a swatch to be able to do it. So she's linked to the seeded rib stitch. So if I'm going to knit this later, what I will do is, if my mouse will work, is highlight all of those comments.
Yeah.
Because she's also made a number of them about armhole. And then further down, was this helpful?
Yeah.
So just stop being a pig.
Can
so
you?
There you are. I've managed to highlight that bit. That's as much as my stupid mouse will let me do today. So when I save that into my favourites, which I've done, when I look at that pattern, let's have a look, and scroll down on the right hand side, it generally, why isn't it showing that now? It used to show a thing that showed you the projects that you had favorited already. I don't know why it's not showing that, but it doesn't matter. But I can filter these projects to all helpful projects or my helpful projects. So if I go to all helpful projects, so that's projects that everybody has said are helpful, they will all have notes about that bit of pattern that everyone's struggling with.
Because some no comments at all. It's a bit annoying, like trying to scroll through them, isn't it? So that's a really good feature.
Yeah. Okay. What's next?
Q. How do you use
so back to my notebook and Q. The British sport.
How long's your queue? Oh, your queue's smaller than mine, actually.
I don't queue it until I am seriously and absolutely, I've got the yarn in a bag.
All right.
Because otherwise my queue would be like my favourites.
Yeah, my favourites I just click on if I like it, and my queue is I actually seriously want to make this at some point.
So I've got some, it's actually James Brett marble that I've got set aside because I've been asked to make this for a friend of my mother's.
Right.
A friend of the family. So that's something I've got to do in the next month. Granny stripes I'm going to delete because I've actually made it now.
I like where it comes up and says what you've got in your stash that you could possibly use. So
yeah, tells everybody what Rios I've got. And
I think we should have a little look at stash, because that's a helpful feature that a lot of people underuse, to be honest.
Yeah. So do you want to do that now?
Either one or the other. We need to. We didn't finish Q really, did we?
Yeah. If we look at organize again, you can create sets exactly as we did before in projects.
And
So
you can
I've
move
got
it
sets
around.
of shawls and sweaters and vests and things like that. And all of my things in my queue now, I can add tags.
Yeah.
So that might be gift due 1st July 2020. So there'll be a note and kind of a deadline on that one. Or the tag there might be summer, because we just talked about summer tops,
Yeah.
cardigan, and then Rios for an idea for something to use my much prized and treasured Rios.
I love the Rios.
This one, linen face scrubby.
Oh yeah.
Because one of the people who made this pattern used it for makeup scrubbies and stuff. That's not in my queue. That's an Alicia Plummer. It's not in my queue for me to knit. It's in my queue because Oak Moss is the name of the little block of apartments or flats that my parents live in. There's only 6 flats and they look like a row of terraced houses, and they live on the ground floor in number 5. So Oak Moss is in there because it's the name of my parents' place.
Love it.
Monica is a Josie Paquan pattern. It's absolutely beautiful. I have the ebook of that because I tested the Ross scarf, which was heavily cabled and a joy to knit. So again, I could add tags on there about sweater, what yarn I'm thinking of, what weight of yarn it needs to be, maybe the yardage or something like that. And then I might also say that obviously that one, so sweater.
Yeah.
So save.
And you can reorder your queue as well, can't you?
You can, yeah. And if you click that thing, you can choose from tags that you've already used. So I can add jumper,
Cool.
add pullover. It's not a cardigan, so I can't add that because that's just wrong.
Yeah, we don't want that.
No, and it's not a vest because it's got sleeves. Jumper, sweater, so on. So I can add tags easily from there. Right. Next, stash.
Stash. Let's do a stash. And Michelle can tell us if there's anything else she wants us to go over.
Yeah. Okay, so I might have 1 or 2 items in stash.
Add something to your stash.
Declared stash.
Yeah.
That's the caveat. There's one stash in this house that is not in here.
It's in the yarn box.
Yeah, it's in the yarn box with the other yarn. What have I got in front of me? I've got some Rowan Cash Cotton 4-ply that's probably in stash already, but we'll go with it.
Yeah. Ooh. That sounds interesting.
I don't know whether that will be Rowan Yarn Company or RYC, to be honest. We'll just go with Rowan.
Rowan, yeah.
That's what it's prompting us. I didn't get it Woodley Madly Deeply. It's from eBay, and I can't be asked to put the shop details. I never do, unless it's an online store, an individual online store, and I know exactly who it is, and then it's just easy. So it's looked for Rowan Cash Cotton 4-ply. There it is. Choose this yarn. So the colourway, she says, peering at the label. It's a plastic label and it's horrible. Shade 904.
Okay.
It's called Cork. Oh yeah, I've definitely added this one because I would remember that. Something like that. It's a brownie colour, nutty colour, attributes.
Oh.
So it's a solid colour. So I'm going to put solid colour. But obviously there's gradients, heathered, mal, multi-strand, unplied, self-patterning, self-striping, semi-solid, so like kettle dyed, speckled tonal tweeds, and variegated.
Loads of training.
Got one of these.
Yeah.
The yarn's already in the RAV database. It's 180 metres per 50 grams. We know that. Can't remember where it was purchased because I was given this. And I can't remember where that person said it was from. Now, I might have some notes there to say that I've got, say, 4 colours of this and what needle size or something like that. But then I would save stash. And typically, at that point, I would add photographs.
Yeah.
So that I know what that looks like when I am looking for it in the yarn that is either, in the box that is either yarn or not yarn. As you know, high advanced system.
And then from this one, you can have a look and see what other people have used it for.
Yeah, I really love this. So we can look at the yarn itself if we click on that. If we go down here, we can see the composition of the yarn. So that gives us an idea of how it's going to behave. We can look at projects and other people have stashed it. So I might need another ball of cork, so I could look at stashed ones and see who's got some and who's willing to trade and sell. Or I can just look at the projects, which is what I was talking about. So we'll go there.
Oh, look at that.
So here we are, the list of projects. And I can filter them. So I'm going to go to pattern category. And I'm going to go to clothing and I'm going to go to sweater and I'm going to choose cardigans because that's what I'm in the mood for today. Perhaps that should be face masks. I don't. But there we are. So there's a selection of cardigans and I can refine that further if I wanted to by adding to the search criteria. So I could say favorited, helpful and so on, projects with notes, which filters out anybody who was rude enough not to put any notes. I could put the number of colours, so I might want something that's got colour work and isn't just plain. So I can put 2 and so on. We'll just get rid of that. Craft, I'm only looking at knitting this afternoon for this particular search, but I may want to look at knit and crochet, but I'm really not interested, say, in loom knitting because I don't have a loom.
Right.
I am not getting the knitting machine out because I can't be bothered, and I don't know how to weave. So there you are. And I might want to only look at projects by friends or members of a group. So if I've got a knit along running and I want to see projects made in a particular yarn by people who are in my group, then I can choose that and then go through the list of groups.
Yeah.
And go from there. Or I can just do made by friends or go with a colour family. And just for Emma, we'll look for everything because, you know, there you are. A spoiler, really.
You do.
So we've got a load of projects. Some of them have got notes, some of them haven't. So fast knit, made there. Using the tutorial for gross grain ribbon. So if I'm going to make that particular cardigan, I know that that's one that might need ribbon on the button bands. There's a reason she's done that. It gives me an idea as well. So somebody's made this Careless Whisper very lightweight cardigan.
That looks really nice.
Lovely and slim, isn't she? You can totally go off people. But anyway, it's the Hannah Fettig's Whisper cardigan. But I can see from this that she's only used 4 skeins of yarn. I mean, how economical is that?
That is brilliant.
So I would only need 4 to make the size that she's wearing. So for me, probably 5 or 6 balls, possibly more, I don't know. But it tells you what the meterage is and how many skeins or balls of yarn the person used if they've entered that information. So whoever's done this Valentine cardigan, they've not put their stats on, so it doesn't give us anything remotely helpful there. But, you know, and that little baby cardigan, 1.6 skeins in colour vivid. So
yeah.
There's a lot of information there, and where we've got these little life belts, that tells us that 2 people found this really helpful.
Yeah.
So it may be, so she said apply an I-cord last. This has been a mammoth effort. Don't know why that's helpful. Yarn is very soft, so maybe it was helpful for them in making their mind up about the yarn.
Maybe.
But helpful is something like this. What's she got? Is this helpful? Did not knit the full width for the front panels as I won't be buttoning it up, and it's a lightweight cardie. So she lengthened the body by 2 inches, put a 3-row garter edge on the bottom of the body and the sleeve, shortened the sleeve to just at elbow length, might choose to go to 3/4, what needle sizes. So that is a really helpful project if you wish to make a Amiga and want to have it fit the way that hers does on her and looks like that on her. So you can see she's done that little garter edge top and bottom.
It's lovely though.
Very, very neat. And the pattern is called Amiga by Mags Candice for anyone that can't see it. And it's a free one, and it's Knitty Spring and Summer 2011. So it's been kicking around a while, and you can see people have varied it quite a bit, not having the sleeve to going super prop. Other people will have gone super long with it. It's a top down, so it's going to be something that's really adaptable. I'm loving that blue green, and look at that pin. How gorgeous is that pin? So you do get to see an awful lot. Oh no, and we just started on stash, didn't we?
Yeah. And you could go. Do you want? Should we go down the rabbit hole that is hot right now?
If we must.
I'm here to pull you back out. It's fine.
Okay, so hot right now on the home page. So you can see that Rockaway's at the top. I think that's free at the moment, so that may explain.
Yeah.
It's at the top there. Quite a few of them in the top section are either free or heavily discounted. But I can either browse patterns in this order or look at the top 20 rather than just the top 5. So that expands the list. And as we look at that list, bear in mind that I've selected knitting. If I click on crochet, that list changes to a different top 20. And if I do knit and crochet, then it will be different again. There's a different number 1.
Come on, Lorraine. Right, let's browse the patterns. Let's do it.
So if we now browse the patterns in this order, which Emma made me do this. If this costume, it's Emma's fault. And I would point out that I am grievously injured today. So nothing that happens today can be my fault.
Oh, look, number 2, it's in your library.
Yeah, I really like the colours, and you know that you do.
It's beautiful. It really is lovely.
So add it to your library as soon as possible. It's just such a stunning colour combo. So we're looking at knit and crochet, and any point on here I can just change that to knitting. And again, it will go back to a shorter list. So there's Georgie's sweater that we were talking about the other night.
Oh, yeah.
All together. That's free at the moment.
I love
Bit
that.
of colour work. If we click on projects, then that'll show us. I just love this photograph. Just for the record, if I was looking at this photograph on its own, I'd be thinking that deep teal is too dark for her. Because I see the deep teal before I see her, and she's lovely. But when I see it in this light,
yeah,
it's perfect because I see her first.
Right.
See how the lighting makes that difference?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Look at those colours.
I love that.
Absolutely stunning. There's another one without the colour work, but has got the marl changes and things like that. I thought this one was very pretty.
Oh,
very delicate, bit of brown going on, and she shows her yarn colours.
Makes me want to get knitting on a jumper.
Aren't they gorgeous? And there's someone else's selection. So you can get to see the yarn colours that they're using. I don't have to go to the pattern to scroll through the photographs. I can see what she's put together. I think that one's lovely. There's her inspiration photo and pictures of the yarn and whatnot. So there's a lot of information there
Mm.
for anybody that wants to look. So if I go back. So we're back to hot right now, browse all patterns. So there's a little bolero there from the knitter. Cute little bit of lace, might be what we're interested in, might not. You can see which ones I've already got in my library because it shows you as we're going through. I thought that was worth a mention. Heidi Kermeyer. A little bit like Isabel Kramer in that it's very classic, very often straight designs, usually includes an A-line option for those two larger assets of shrunk and headed south. You know, those sort of affected by the struggles of gravity.
Well, you know, it comes to us all.
But somebody like her or Isabel Kramer or any of the sort of really well-known knitters tend to have a ton of projects from testers. And you can see, so we've got a lovely curvy body shape. And that's not a small bust, but I think the yoke looks quite good on that.
Yeah. I like the fact that it fits her so well. It's not a huge jumper on her. Do you know what I mean?
But it's just simple A-line shaping, but
It looks like it's shaped though, doesn't it? When you
yeah.
put it on her, it's gorgeous.
It's because there's an element of negative ease at the bust.
Mm. No, I like that.
And then it naturally tucks in underneath, and she's probably put a little bit of extra length in there to cope with a bit of boobage. But you can get an idea of how it's going to look on other people.
Yeah.
And then just go straight back to your hot right now list.
And
again, as with any search, we're not going to look at these numbers, but we could see if it was in how many of these patterns are in my favourites, library, project, queue, favourite designers, yarn in stash, recently viewed, hidden from search, not sure what that's about, that are perhaps in my bundles.
Bundles are a good one as well, actually. I think a lot of people don't know how to use bundles.
Yeah, so we've got categories there. I'm in the mood for a cardigan today, so we'll go down to cardigan
You're
again.
definitely in the mood for cardies, aren't you? I'm in the mood for cardi. Oh, I really want a cardi.
So again, I can change the order. If I'm bored with hot right now, I can just go to most projects, and that tells me which ones people have made the most.
My dog randomly started crying then. I don't know what that was about.
Or I can go to got the most favourites, and it'll be a different list again.
I do love that cardigan. That is it Hito Feud or Hito Feud?
Hito Feud, something like that.
It's lovely.
I can put new to Ravelry. So if I'd done a search recently, then this would highlight things I've maybe not seen before.
Mm-hmm.
So that's quite good. So if we go back to the notebook and to favourites, I might have a couple of bundles in my favourites, and I will save other people's bundles to my favourites. So like the BIPOC designers, the tops, spring and summer, that's someone else's selection. Cardigan sweaters, someone else has saved, because I'd have separated those. They would not be in the same bundle.
Right.
So summer top bundle, summery, cardigans, pulleys, pullovers, t-shirts, tops and summer, tees and shells, winter sweaters and so on. So these are bundles and projects that I've saved to my favourites that other people have put together.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've got my own bundles. So I've got 23 of my own bundles as opposed to favorited bundles. So I have a wish list, accessories, baby gifts, because for some reason the women in my family seem to want to pop sprogs at the moment. So previous gift alongs,
yeah,
in knitting, sweaters generally. The T1, 2, 3 and 4 are spring, summer, autumn, winter So that's autumn. It's textures and colours,
Wow, look at those.
because autumns are quite heavily into texture.
Yeah.
And a reasonable amount of colour, even though it's softer and less bright than, say, a spring. And autumn will typically like a lot of texture in their clothing. So that's why they're separated out like that. And if I go back to my bundles again, so 23 bundles. I've got shawls, V-necks and angles, tutorials, test knits. So at any point, if I'm looking at a pattern, pick this one. So it's save in favourites, and I can put it into an existing bundle, or I can add a new bundle, and it was that Linda Marvin.
Not sure.
So I'm going to put it in the Linda Marvin bundle. I can always delete it later. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So
See?
if I go back to my favourites,
Yeah.
I've now got 24 bundles, and I'll have a bundle. It's sorted them alphabetically. There's one, and it's got a Linda Marvin thing saved in it. I'm just going to delete it now because I don't need it. But bundles are really handy for either projects that you favorited. I like to have my favorites into bundles by the type of thing they are. So all accessories go together. I don't make enough shawls, hats, mittens and stuff to justify having separate bundles for them, but I could. But if I think it's an accessory, that's the bundle that it goes in. I don't know who that is.
I have no idea. Apparently it's her birthday.
How old is she?
17.
Oh, God, to be 17 again, eh?
Oh, I know. Scary.
It is. So anyway, that's my accessories bundle. I can choose the image that I want. So edit bundle cover. And I can choose any image from that. So what should we have as the bundle cover now?
That one.
That one.
That one's gorgeous.
Niddy Cancel.
Yeah. Beautiful.
So I can do that. And I can add to my bundle from here if I wanted.
So
I could search for an item to add. I'm going to search under Niddy.
Yeah.
There's Niddy. And then it's showing me some of her designs, or it's showing me her as a designer. So I could then put her into my favourite accessories as a designer of accessories that I like. And then that will take me to her designs, and I can look from there. This was the one that Nina and Alison were making.
Oh, I remember that one.
You see why I mixed it up with that Vanessa thingy bob one the other day.
Yeah.
The colour.
I really need to get knitting again.
Oh, there's Alison's.
Oh, there, yeah. Oh, look at that. It's gorgeous.
See the photographs.
Love that pin she's using.
The detailing on the back. I mean, it's so simple and yet so pretty. See if I can get a close up of the pin. There you are.
Beautiful.
So it allows you to group things into handy collections, and that's why I really love bundles. And that's why users and crafters in the gift along love bundles, because it saves them trailing through page after page of lists of stuff when they can actually just go back into the bundle. So I'll keep going back and it'll take me back to my accessories bundle. But I can do an advanced search from here. So I'm going to do a search of patterns rather than projects.
Yeah.
I might want to do a search of projects if I've remembered one that's pink, for example, and could filter by that.
Yeah.
But it's an accessories bundle. I want something that's got a photograph. I've got some 4-ply, which is fingering weight yarn. So this will now filter out anything that isn't marked for fingering weight. So there we are.
Love it.
And if I want to, I could go by pattern category as well. So within accessories, I could go with neck, torso, and then all neck, torso. Because I don't know if I want to make a cowl or a shawl. And again, it narrows the list.
Ooh, the crystal knits one there. It's gorgeous.
Which one?
Go back up. Where is it? That one. Oh, look at that. How gorgeous is that? Irene's wallpaper. Love it.
Crystal is just stunning.
Yes. She rocks that grey hair, doesn't she?
She does. So again, we can look at the project. We can see what yarn they chose, how much they used. Again, which is very, very helpful on a project. And then I can go straight back to my bundle. And then I could change my mind and just think, oh, actually, I'm not going to use fingering weight because I'm feeling lazy and I want fast. So I'm going to go with Aran. What's in my bundle that's Aran weight?
Who's Aaron?
Aran A. Aronson. He lives up near the model village.
Oh, right. Okay, then.
Anyone that's watched Hot Fuzz will know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't, you're stuffed, basically.
And go.
So there you are. There's one of Yvonne's.
Oh, I love that.
Here's the key.
Beautiful.
So I can see different colour versions of that have been done. I can see the yarn suggestions. One of those yarns is in my stash, so that takes me to Jeannie. Someone's used that.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's striking.
So I can then go back and it tells me that there's 8 projects, what yarns they've used, whether it's a self-striper or so on. So there's a lot of information that you can have just from putting something into your favourites and then putting it into some sort of category for when you want to search. And it just stops that pattern overwhelm thing.
Yeah.
Or it might be that I want something that's designed for any gauge. Just see.
Oh.
So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 patterns there that are adaptable to any weight of yarn and have instructions included so that you can make them in any weight of yarn.
That's perfect.
So I think that's, I'm going to click on that one because it's called Sleepy.
Oh.
I don't know what the name is about, but I'm loving it.
I like that. Look at the colours.
Simone uses some amazing colour combinations. Sometimes they really stop you in your tracks and you sort of think, what was she thinking with that one? And then you'll see loads of others. So if we quickly look through some of her designs, you'll see that she uses very heavily on the colour and planned pooling, really heavily variegated yarns a lot of the time, and uses shape and texture to kind of tame some of those yarns that people are afraid of.
Yeah, because sometimes you look at them and you think, I love it, but I have no clue what to do with it.
Yeah, so she's really, really good with something like that. So I'll take us back to the bundle again. What's next?
Oh, excuse me. I don't know. Have we done everything? Done the main things that I use. We've done any projects, your stash.
We'll look at purchases.
Uh-oh. Do we look at purchases? Should we look at purchases? It could be, you know.
Only paid. Surely that's got to reduce the number somewhat. No. Yeah, we're not going there.
No, don't.
But sometimes a designer will retire a pattern, and I bought an ebook from Woolly Wormhead. I don't know how many years ago, and it had several hat patterns in it.
Yeah.
And then I went to the pattern page, and she's retired the pattern. I'm thinking I can't now download it from the pattern page because it says
Not there
it's
anymore.
no longer available. But it was in my purchases.
Right.
So, I mean, I have to go back years and years and years and years and years and years and years to find it. Or there's a purchase finder there. Buyer's email address. I don't know what it would have been.
Oh God.
But somewhere in the depths of here, 22, 23 or 20 pages back or whatever, I would have to go through that list, but at least I've got something to go through.
Yeah.
So I bought it a long time ago.
But basically, it just means that it's never lost to you.
It's never lost to you. It's in here somewhere. It will turn up.
Yeah. Because that's what some people worry about with digital patterns, isn't it?
Yeah.
But to be fair, I think they're more difficult to lose than paper ones. If you just buy a paper copy, that's more easy to lose, isn't it?
It can be, yeah. Yeah, so now that we know I've got a pattern problem.
Yeah, well, we knew that anyway, though, didn't we? I mean, look at your library.
Yeah, we're not going there.
No, don't go there.
No.
Well, I think that was a pretty comprehensive look.
Good. Was that helpful to Michelle or anybody else? I'm going to click stop now on the screen sharing. So you're going to get me back in a moment.
Earlier she put she was loving learning. We'll now go in and hopefully use it effectively. Normally just get overwhelmed with the amount of patterns, which is what I think a lot of people feel about Ravelry at first.
The lady in Irene's wallpaper has amazing hair. Michelle said that's Christelle, the actual designer. She's just utterly gorgeous. She really is.
It's not fair.
And for anybody that's only joined while I was waffling and showing you on screen, yes, I have got a whacking great bruise on my face. I fell over in the back garden on the way to the utility room to put the laundry in the washer. Smacked my knee on the floor, put my hand out to save myself on this side, and this bit of my face hit the potting table that's in the back garden and caught the corner of it. So I've got a beautiful straight line cut on my face.
Ow. Yeah. It's all right.
I bounce well. What can we say?
Yes.
So, you
Excellent.
know.
Oh, well, that was really helpful. Thank you very much. I've run out of drink. I need a wee.
Is that a sweater that we've seen that sweater before?
You've seen this sweater before. It was at a time when I forgot to put a brassiere on, so I looked like my boobage was by my feet.
That's when you wore it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen it before.
Yeah. And you're wearing a hand knit as well.
I am. This is Edie by Isabel Kramer, and there's sort of, I don't know how I can show you. For kind of.
Oh yeah.
Can you see the lines across? It's.
Yeah. Those are gorgeous. Oh no.
When you see the photographs of this one, sorry, my boobage was escaping there, that I took with my Android phone, this looks a very grey linen-y colour, but it's not. It's actually really warm and quite rich, and it's got little speckles of warm brown, as if somebody's just flicked tea on it.
Oh, it looks like a golden wheat colour. Like
yeah.
The fields that you go in the summer.
Yeah, very much so. And I do wear this quite a lot. I've got a purple one as well, which is in drop spell. This is Wendy cotton supreme double knit. It's cotton and silk.
Gorgeous.
So it's got very little memory. It tends to grow a bit during the day, but I don't mind it getting a bit longer or a bit bigger.
Yeah. My dog is driving me nuts.
And it was a very quick knit. So any other questions before we shoot off, anybody?
I think you showed us everything.
Answered any more questions?
Things that I didn't know.
Have a go on Ravelry and try.
Just have a play around with it, Michelle. And if there's anything else, you'll have to give us a shout.
Yeah, but we can definitely cover it another day. What are we doing on Tuesday?
We could have a look at some yarn that I've got that I don't know what to do with.
Yeah, Emma would like your suggestions for. Do you want sweaters or cardigans or tops or just? It's sweater quantities of yarn, isn't it?
One definitely is. I'm not sure if the other one is or isn't, to be honest. So yeah, just anything that people want to suggest would be quite nice.
Yeah, fill your boots with that one, peeps, and we'll see you on Tuesday at 3:30.
Yeah.
So, bye for now.
Toodles.